Sometimes the best knitting projects are the ones that you never plan. And this sweater is one of those projects. Let me tell you how this happened. I've been knitting on a mid-gauge machine that technically worked, but it required a lot of encouragement. And the encouragement that the machine knitted equaled frustration for the knitter. If I wanted to use worsted weight yarn, I had to do every other needle. That was frustrating, especially when I was doing production knitting or charity knitting, where I wanted to do multiple of the same thing quickly. It never was quickly. I started looking for a 9mm machine at all the places that we normally go to find used products. I went to Etsy, I went to eBay, I looked on Craigslist, I couldn't find anything. I pulled up the local Facebook marketplace and I found a 9mm with a ribber and a stand at a price that was really fair. I fell in love with this knitting machine. It was only 10 miles away. That meant no import tax and no shipping. Wow, what a deal. The next day, cash in hand, I met the most inspiring couple. A Mr. Knitter and a lovely Mrs. Quilter. And unfortunately for them, at 93 and 92 years old, they were forced to downsize, and they weren't going to have room for his fleet of knitting machines. The machine was rehomed in my studio and joins my fleet of ever-growing machines. Thank you, universe. This is my getting to know you sweater, and I'm going to take you along on a little bit of the process. I hope you enjoy. This is the actual machine that I picked up. This is a Brother KH260. This is a bulky machine. Has a punch card. And it came with a ribber. So I was super excited to give this a try. When I first brought it home and started moving the carriage around, I recognized that the carriage was moving rather stiffly. So I took it apart. The two buttons here wouldn't work independent of each other for doing part work, and that was really important to me. And when I pressed them in, they didn't want to release all the way out. Well, that was a problem. So I took the carriage apart, thanks to a video on the Answer Lady's channel. Her husband Jack has helped me so much with his videos on cleaning and maintenance of knitting machines. With his tutelage, I took it apart. I soaked it overnight in Marvel Mystery Oil, and I got the carriage to run much better on the needles. Before, when it was running, it was very stiff and very hard to push, and now that I've oiled it and cleaned it, it's working great. So that's the machine that joined the studio just last week. So these are the sweater pieces that I knit on the bulky machine that I had picked up. And I wasn't really planning on knitting a sweater. I just had this many stitches on the machine and decided to give it a go. I knitted the neck band separate, so I'm going to attach this like you would if you used a linker, where I'm going to sandwich the neck in the middle and stitch it on with a latch hook. I did do a cut and sew on the neckline, and I did a little patterning on the top of the sleeves, a little patterning on the yoke here. So I'm going to stitch this together and we'll have a finished sweater. Going to leave a tail. Going to start here, push it through, grab a loop, let that latch close on the yarn, and then I want to make sure that I've got the longest part of the piece. We can shorten that a little bit, like so. So I've got a loop on the inside. Going to go over here, another stitch, push it through, grab it in the hook. There we go, and we're off. Now, as we go, we're going to want to keep adjusting this, but it's pretty simple. I like using the latch hook tool. It's makes a nice little hook on one side, or loop on one side, and on the inside there's a little chain. So we're going to keep fitting this around, taking a stitch, kind of adjusting it as we go. I want to make sure that I mark the center of the band on the front. So here's my center back. I want to make sure that I mark the center on the front so that it gets stretched evenly. Is that about right? Yeah, right about there. Okay, so this is going to be my center front right here. So I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to clip it. That won't work. We're just going to clip it like so. All right. Now, where does that leave me with these sides? Oops, I twisted it. Good thing I checked, huh? All right, it's got to go that way. There we go.